have been very clear that our number one goal is to make sure that, look, I'll start here. We have concerns. We do. We have concerns with Iran, but the JCPOA is the best way for us to address the nuclear problem. And we have been very clear that our goal is to make sure that Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. So as long as we believe pursuing JCPOA talks is in the U.S. national security interest, we will do so. We will continue to use other tools to address other problems with Iran's behavior, but we believe this is the best path forward to make sure that we have these negotiations.
UK Prime Minister Liz Truss is pursuing an economic program.
The economy will significantly slow down to growing just 0.2% for the entirety of this year and then 1.2% for next year. Is this the stable growth the president is moving us towards?
You're talking about what he said yesterday?
Yeah, it was the projections the Federal Reserve came out. They projected the economy would grow at just 0.2% this year and 1.2% next year, which is pretty slow growth. And I'm just curious, is this the stable growth that you're talking about?
So, I mean, I talked about this a little bit already, how we're coming off of last year's historic economic growth. A lot of that is because of the work of this president and Democrats in Congress passing the American Rescue Plan, which puts us in a position where we saw the most stable growth, strongest growth that we have seen in modern history. So it's no surprise that the economy at this point is going to slow down, is going to cool off just a bit, as the Federal Reserve takes action to bring down inflation. So the Fed's projection, as you mentioned, of growth over this calendar year implies growth between 1% and 2% in the next 2 quarters. So our goal is to bring down inflation. That's what we have been doing for the past several months, making sure that we're doing everything that we can to give the American public a little bit more breathing room without sacrificing all of the historic gains that we made this past year and life-changing economics gains this country has made over the last 19 months, this past year and a half. So given the encouraging initial signs that we have seen on inflation and the continued strength of growth in the job market, so we believe the transition remains possible. We believe that we will get to a strong and stable growth. We believe that we will see that cooling that you hear economists talking about.
On inflation, one more if I could. The Americans are making tough choices related to inflation, and last week they saw the president do the celebration during the Inflation Reduction Act when core inflation rose for the first time in 5 months on that day. This week there's another celebration 48 hours after the Fed chairman said there'd be more economic pain. Is that optics of those two celebrations insensitive to what Americans are going through?
So the president has always, when he talks about the economy, has made clear to understand what the American families are going through, what the American people are going through. He understands that the economy and inflation in particular, high cost, is giving some pain, to your point, to Americans. That is why we passed. That is why Democrats in Congress passed Inflation Reduction Act. By the way, no Republicans supported that. And as you know, you've heard me say it many times, you've heard the president say it many times, it is going to lower costs when it comes to prescription drugs. It's going to lower healthcare costs and energy costs. And it is one of the most historic investment to fight climate change. As we are talking about extreme weather, I've gotten multiple questions on Puerto Rico and what the people of Puerto Rico, our brothers and sisters, are going through, what may happen in this hurricane season. A lot of that is going to be helped by the work that this president has done, bipartisan infrastructure law, again, the Inflation Reduction Act. So we are doing the work. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to work. We've seen gas prices go down for 14 weeks straight, and that, again, is because of the work that this president is doing. So yes, we understand what the American people are going through, but our job, the president's job, is to do everything that he can in his power to